When I was a teenager, the evening hours were sometimes the most effective practicing sessions, and nowadays the evening hours are just smoking a cigar and drinking alcohol. Now you can try as hard as you want, but you will not make me to answer this question. Can you imagine this kind of naked guy with orange?
Mozzarella di bufala and the fragrant basil on top. My God, amazing! But again, it's just a pizza. I think you're much more than that. I think you are a filet mignon.
My wife used to tell me that the older I get, the more handsome I am.
Oh my God!
I would like to offer my CD that nobody knows that exists. This is the CD that I recorded in San Francisco on free historical instruments, torres, fleta, and Hauser. Okay. I hope whoever gets this CD will enjoy it. Have a nice evening.
Kordiuk guitar platform.
They wanna talk about me? Alright. Every day I'd escape past the hate now. Let 'em see, catch me hate now. I ain't tripping on you, nah, I got money. Hey. Nobody care about your job, I got money. Okay. Sets and zeros and I come out, I got money. Yeah, I got money. Yeah. Money. Let 'em talk shit, yeah, I think it's funny. But if you run up, I'ma make that blood go runny. Catch my style, you ain't even worth my while. Too busy calling up the banks, it will go ahead and die.
My name is Marcin Dylla. I am a classical guitarist, which means I play classical music on the classical guitar. Last years I'm increasing also my activity as a teacher, so I'm both performer and the teacher. Why the guitar? Just coincidence. I think I started when I was 7, and basically it was not really my decision, I believe. My parents decided so, and why there are many stories from my father. Sometimes he's teasing me that he wanted me to be a rock and roll star. Sometimes he say that he was trying to keep me away from the troubles, so I don't cause my parents any troubles, and I just sit at home and practice guitar and become a nice guy. So maybe my answer to these questions would be just because I met the right teachers, right musicians on my way, and after playing for a few weeks, few months the guitar, they just introduced me to the music, to the world of the classical guitar, and that's how I became a classical guitarist. What profession would you choose if you hadn't become a musician? I don't know how to answer this question because it could be any profession, but I know that I would do it very well. What had influence on your decision to be a musician? I think the amazing artists that I was watching as a child, as a teenager, the music that was moving me always when I was young, this all just turns me into the music more and more. And on certain level, you are just so much into the music that actually there is no choice for you. And this is a lucky situation because I had so many friends in high school. They were playing, let's say, piano. They were very fine pianists, but they knew that it's not the future for them. And I remember also hours talking about what should they choose for their life, to study medicine, law, maybe math, I don't know. So it was a hard decision for them in the age of 18, let's say. The very difficult decision that I didn't have to make because my way was already decided. So, about my ideal practice day, I don't remember when I had a day like this last time, but usually I love to practice. I am a workaholic in a sense that I really like to practice. I feel guilty when I don't do this, and practicing means to me not only playing the guitar, not only moving my fingers on the guitar, but also thinking about the music, enjoying the music, listening to the music, and have some thoughts about music. So the perfect day is that I have to do nothing but just spend my day with myself and the guitar. Of course, those beautiful days are gone. Now I have 2 incredible daughters. One is 3 years old, the younger 3 months. So you can imagine that there is nothing like a lonely day anymore. But actually those days nowadays are even more beautiful, so I'm not complaining. So what I do before I go on stage, I check my hair, I check my suit if everything is fine. But honestly, I'm just playing. I'm playing backstage. I'm not really playing very loud, and I don't check my speed. Opposite, I'm just trying to my fingers to relax, to do what they do in a very slow tempo, slow motion, maybe even pianissimo, just to give them a sense of strings, tension, etc. And first of all, I'm trying to focus, because I have a feeling like our instrument is such a fragile and soft instrument that any kind of noise in a concert, during the concert, interact with what we do, and this may cause really serious problems with the concentration. That's why I try to be focused all the time, and the last minutes backstage I'm using just for this purpose. What is the reason you don't play Bach? I do play Bach. This question is not true anymore, because actually in the near future I will start to perform Bach in my recitals. It's true that I never perform Bach in recital, and I cannot really answer why. I think one of the main reasons was that I do really enjoy historical performance. So what I really love about the Bach is the sound of the Baroque instruments. So when I have a mood for Baroque music at home, I always choose one of many recordings that they were recorded on historical instruments. This gives me really a spirit of the time, and maybe because of this I couldn't really feel honest and right playing Bach on the guitar. Of course, now I don't necessarily change my opinion about this. I just enjoy as it is on the guitar. So it's a wonderful music, of course, everyone knows, and gives a huge pleasure to the player. I think it doesn't matter on which instrument. What is a guitar competition for you? This is a very important question, I would say, nowadays, because I always repeat this in my interviews, that guitar competitions are festivals for young musicians. If you are a young musician who is not invited to play a concert, all what you can do is just practice at home and perform in exams at your school, playing for your friends, or you just go for a competition and treat it as a festival, because competing with other people is a completely wrong approach. And I see it from the different perspective. So for you as a player, to win a competition, to get a first prize, is not as important as to win fans, to win people that appreciate your playing, to get a sympathy and appreciation from the guitar lovers, from the music lovers. This stays much deeper in the heart than just first prize award. Extremely important is to challenge yourself, to find a date that is very important, that you prepare for it, that you give all you can, and then forget about it. Prepare to another event, prepare for another competition. This, of course, will give you a great drive to practice and nice progress, I believe. At least the motivation is much stronger than just passing the exams at home in your school. What's the most ridiculous or funny incident that happened to you at the concert or competition? Okay, what's coming to my mind right now, what is quite funny at this moment, wasn't the time that I went for a competition 1 month too early. It was the time that we still didn't have internet, and I remember I have received some brochure about the competition. It was all in French, and I just took a look on the date, and for some reason I was quite sure that it's June. So I went to Aix-en-Provence in June, and then I realized that it's in July. So it was funny. I was well prepared 1 month before. Tips for people who are starting to play classical guitar. Well, we live in a world that everything is quick and fast. To design something is very quick. To make money can be very, very quick. To learn something, you have internet, you can get the knowledge very quickly. I have a feeling like playing the instrument nowadays is really something really, really old-fashioned. There are not many other professions that require so much time to develop the perfection, the quality, to reach the perfection. So, from this perspective, from this point of view, when you are about to start playing any kind of instrument, you have to decide that it's gonna be your way of living, not necessarily hobby, but just way of living for many years, and be ready, be prepared that the progress will come no hour by hour, but maybe month by month. Question is about my practice secret that I use every time. There is no secret, and when I'm teaching, when I do master classes, I'm always trying to be very honest and trying to talk a lot about how important it is to practice effectively. And effective way of practicing is just to describe the problems and to solve the problems. Our very common mistakes is that we just play, we repeat things, and we hope that because of repeating we will make a progress. Analyzing and describing the problem is already quite a challenge. What doesn't work? What is my problem? Because it's not enough to say generally, oh, I make mistake. Of course, the very important thing is to find out why I did a mistake, in which particular moment it happened, and then you will find a solution. You know, you just discover that one finger is making maybe an inappropriate movement, it's not precise enough. So to be very, very specific about what are you practicing, what do you want to change, what do you want to develop, I think is the most effective way of practicing, and this could be secret for some people. How could a guitarist become a musician? Well, we hear it very often that there is this kind of compliment. He's not a guitar player, he's a musician. He's not a violin player, he's a musician. He's not a piano player, he's a musician. First of all, it's more about the imagination, your artistic imagination, and just producing this on your instrument, not necessarily asking your instrument how can it be done, because this maybe makes you a little bit more guitarist and not musician. My last CD was published in 2007. Why? Where are the new ones? Actually, I just published the CD, I think, last year. But this is the CD that actually I published myself, and I kind of give it to my friends, maybe sell it after the concert. I would say the biggest problem is that nobody wants to publish now the CDs. I kind of asked few labels, and they said, oh, of course we will publish your CD with a big pleasure, please just pay us this amount of money. So, you know, when you start to think that I have to pay money to the publisher to publish my CD and then they sell it, this is kind of makes no reason to sign a contract with any label, and that's what I do. If there is a music I want to record, I record it myself, and it's done. It's just, of course, nowadays you can do just 500 or 1,000 copies, so it's not a big deal. How to become a student of Marcin Dylla? Which role plays Fryderyk in your life? So I teach right now at the Katowice Music Academy, where we are right now. I do teach also at the Münster Musikhochschule in Germany, and so it looks like it's quite easy to become my student. But on the other hand, maybe it's difficult because in Poland you must speak Polish and in German. So this could be a challenge for foreign students. However, I have few foreign students here in Poland. In Poland, they don't speak Polish and they are doing quite well. I can say I love to teach, but at the same time, I hate to repeat myself. So teaching for me is an activity that requires really a lot of determination from the student. When I see that all what we talk about is just forgotten and then next week I have to do again the same work, that's the situation where I kind of ask myself if it makes any sense. So this would be the only one problem. I don't mind to teach students they are not great players or great musicians. It's important for me that they make a progress. Your top 5 modern guitarists. So this is the question that it's impossible to answer. I mentioned 5 names and then I feel guilty that I didn't mention another 5 names. So you know, you can try as hard as you want, but you will not make me to answer this question with names. And this the same answer is about 5 musicians of all the time. It's absolutely impossible. What do you do on long distant flights? Usually I try to watch the movies, and usually I never finish even one. This is a very interesting thing because you always have your book with you, right? You start to read the book, but then the light goes down. You don't want to bother your neighbor with the spotlight you have on your book. And so then what to do? Okay, let's see what the movies are about today. And I start one, and after 5 minutes I cannot watch it anymore. I start another one and I'm completely disappointed. Okay, let's try just some comedy, maybe stupid comedy, but it's funny. It's so difficult to find a movie that will attract my attention to the end that actually what I'm doing on the long distance flights, I'm just complaining about the quality of the movies by choosing another one and another one. Your bad habits. Smoke, alcohol, etc. Yes. Well, I wouldn't say this is a bad habit, but I have to confirm that I do like cigars, I do like wine, I do like whiskey also, and evening time is something what just is asking for those things. You know, when the day is over and you think you work hard, actually you start to think about relaxing a little bit and enjoy the last 2 hours of the evening. And to smoke a cigar, to have a glass of wine is just a wonderful thing. And this is my habit. But you ask about bad habit, and of course I can say also that it is a bad habit. Why? Because when I compare myself when I was a teenager and nowadays, when I was a teenager, the evening hours were sometimes the most effective practicing sessions, and nowadays the evening hours are just smoking a cigar and drinking alcohol. And from this perspective, I have to say this is a bad habit. Yeah. What compliment do I get more often? Well, my wife used to tell me that the older I get, the more handsome I am.
Oh my God!
And she says this usually watching the pictures from the time when I was very young, and of course I was looking kind of ridiculous. So, the most shameful thing you have ever done? Okay, this could be funny but shameful also. So when we're talking about the funny thing that happens to me. During the concerts or competitions, I remember also one accident that I was very much in a hurry at the train station, I remember, and I realized that I forgot my toothpaste. So I just went to the druggery, to the shop to grab one. But of course I was on the trip just for a weekend, so next to the toothpaste I saw some small size toothpaste, right? So I bought the small size because I thought, well, that's enough for a weekend. And I remember when I arrived to my destination in the evening, I just started to brush my teeth, and I just realized that there must be something wrong with this toothpaste because it doesn't have a taste, it doesn't work. So then I took this toothpaste and I just read that it's not toothpaste, it's just the glue for the protege, right, for the fake teeth. So of course it was just sitting there next to the toothpaste. It was small size, but I didn't read, and I just was sure it was for this purpose. Personal life, how did you meet your wife, Justyna? So, you know, as you know, Justyna, she was also playing the guitar, so we met in some festivals, and that's how it started. And it's a really beautiful time in my life. I have 2 daughters, 3 years old and 3 months old. So, you know, this beautiful love is in the air at home. Though the kids are just wonderful, and even though it's so much work, I think it just makes our life much more funny and much more easygoing, I would say, still. Also, you discover so many things. I mean, I didn't know that I can sleep just 3-4 hours a day and still work, right? It's just amazing. The craziest thing you have and you done in your life. Well, when I was in school, we did some. We had a book that we created to sign all the crazy things we did. Those things were like skiing naked, jumping to the pool with a suit, driving on the roof of the car. You know, all those things that the kids do. So we did all of those crazy things, and I drive too fast. And some of my friends consider this as crazy, but I believe I'm a very safe driver. When I drive fast, I drive fast because I can. I see the open highway, the conditions are nice. I know that I'm not risking anything. So in this situation, yes, of course, I'm not crazy driver like being in a city and driving fast, risking the life of a pedestrian or etc. What is your favorite pop song? Could you perform something? You know, no, from the pop music, I have to say I really love the old stuff like 60s, 70s, 80s. Something is great. When I'm dancing with my daughter, we have George Michael, Rod Stewart, the Beatles, Rolling Stones. When I drive my car, of course, some more crazy 60s and all those great songs I love very much. Marcin Dylla in 5-10 years. Probably we all the classical musicians we all talk about slow progress because that's how it is. You know, when you see a show business, there is a big promotion, there is a great song which creates a career of someone. And then he stays there, or he goes away, or he goes down, and we don't care about it. Doesn't matter. But in a classical music, I have a feeling like this field is still so honest that actually nothing is happening by a coincidence or big jump or some spectacular move. No, everything is just a slow process of becoming more mature, more interesting, more deep artist, and that's why I kind of don't necessarily expecting any change in my life. I just hope for a good health and that's it. What's the purpose of life? There is no purpose in life.
Kordiuk guitar platform.
Blitz section. Say the first thing that comes to your mind after I press another. So, Bach or Chopin? Chopin. It was the first. So the first answer was Chopin, but then I started to think why. That's why I was so slow. But I think as a Polish, as a romantic person, Chopin was the first answer. Giuliani Sor. I think Sor because of he's really more sophisticated sometimes. I would say from my perspective. Ponce or Rodrigo. Ponce. As much as I love Rodrigo, Ponce is absolutely my favorite. Segovia of Brim, Sokolov, Horowitz Sokolov, Daddario Savares, love both of them. I play Daddario at the moment. Spruce, of course, Spruce. Concert or masterclasses. It's a completely different activity. Masterclasses are much more easygoing and much more relaxing, and there is of course the time you have to think, to ask the question, to answer the question. So there are some masterclasses organized in an old-fashioned way that I love very much. Imagine there is a evening masterclasses with an artist. We choose 3 players that they present different music, different program. So we kind of provoke the artist to talk about everything. There is a big audience who are listening and trying to understand the perspective and ideology, let's say, musical ideology of the artist. So this is very, very beautiful event actually, and I love it. Master classes that we see nowadays in a guitar festivals, this is more like a school and teaching one student after another, and this definitely I don't like. Concert is a much more intense event, right? You have to be focused. You are tired after it. Your brain is really exhausted. So. But at the same time, concerts always gives you a much more satisfaction, I would say. So interpretation or restoration, there's so many great artists like Alfred Brendel, for example, who was always talking about putting himself behind the music, bring the meaning of the music, being very patient and precise about what music wants. And the funny thing is that when you listen to Alfred Brendel, after a few seconds you recognize it's him. So it looks like it looks like the restoration would be kind of utopia, right? Are you a good teacher? I think I'm trying to be. I think I am a good teacher because what I appreciate the most from the teachers is that they are, if there is a teacher who is not dogmatic and is not giving ready answers, and I consider myself as this kind of teacher who is definitely not dogmatic. I hate this kind of approach. It is very rare that I see only one answer to the questions, or even to the technical problems. Right, like giving these stupid solutions, like you improve your technique if you practice with a metronome and then day by day make it faster. It's so ridiculous that actually, nobody who's offering this cannot even call himself teacher, I would say. So even the technical problems, there are so many nuances, so many different way of thinking about our movements of our hand, our fingers. That's why I may have feelings sometimes that I'm not a good teacher because I don't give a clear and very easy answers. But at the same time, I feel like this kind of approach is not really to be a good teacher. Are you a good person? I think so. I mean, what kind of food you are? From the perspective of the bear or tiger, I saw once the tiger said that Muslim, Christians, white, black, Asians, they all taste the same. So probably I'm just a piece of meat for them. Of course, I do care about myself, so there's not too much fat in it. But actually, fat makes the meat more tasty. So I don't know. I know that I think Thibaut had a question: what kind of alcohol he is?
I think I'm not a strong alcohol.
Right, and I saw this, and this answer was easy for me because definitely I'm a whiskey, single malt whiskey. Even though I much more prefer wine, but kind of feel myself as whiskey. What kind of food I am? See myself on the plate in a nice restaurant. Can you imagine this kind of naked guy with orange? Of course, as a man, probably I should answer. I'm probably steak with a French fries. What kind of food is Marcin Dylla? And this is the question you ask Łukasz. Aha, so 4 answers and one is the answer from Łukasz. Huh? A beautiful burger with a sweet potato fries, pizza, filet mignon with creamy roasted garlic, potatoes, mustard crusted, less prime rib, roast with a cream sauce. So you see, I mean, definitely I'm not pizza napoletana. Filet mignon with creamy roasted garlic, potatoes, beautiful burger with a sweet potato. I think the answer number 4 comes from Łukasz. Mustard crusted, boneless prime rib roasted with a cream sauce. Let's see.
Hello, lovely Marcin. I was asked to say what kind of food I think you are. And I was thinking about it. Do you think you are this beautiful burger? Look at that. An amazing brioche bun, beautiful patty inside, the cheese, the sweet potato fries and this velvety and luscious truffle aioli. Maybe you're that. Or maybe you are Napolitan pizza. The fluffy dough, the sweet Parmesan tomatoes, the oozy mozzarella di bufala and the fragrant basil on top. My God, amazing. But again, it's just a pizza. I think you're much more than that. I think you are a filet mignon. You are the most mature cut of beef, the most delicious cut of beef, mature like you're playing. And it comes with this creamy roasted garlic potatoes. And you know, it's topped with velvety, like your legato, béarnaise sauce. That's what I think you are, man.
So the answer was number 3, right? Great. As always, Łukasz, he's always so nice. Your present and a question from you to all subscribers. I would like to offer my CD that nobody knows that exists. This is the CD that I recorded in San Francisco on 3 historical instruments, Torres, Fleta and Hauser. And actually you cannot buy this CD because I'm too lazy to take care of it. But you can buy it only when you visit my concert, and just by coincidence I have the CDs with me. Just because it is so difficult to choose a new program, it's so difficult to find a piece that you want to put in your program. There are many options, nothing is really convincing. My question would be to you, what you wish I would play in the future? What piece would you like to hear performed by me? And this could be also a nice inspiration, and I may take it very serious and go this direction. So that's the CD. It's a beautiful ecological digipack. Okay, I hope whoever gets this CD will enjoy it. Have a nice evening. Thank you.
Kordiuk Guitar Platform.